right, what were you guys looking at for Palantir? What's the next line? 940.
Yeah, so the top of that, 941 is where we're trying. Here, let's get in there. Let's see what she's got going on.
Yeah, this shit could easily break $9 if it has bad earnings, which I think, again, there's really only two scenarios that could happen, right? One, they've been so overbeat up that now it's undervalued and they have decent earnings, so they rip, or they're going to have horrible earnings. So I think that they're actually going to have great earnings because this is the time where everyone would buy their product and also employ them on additional new contracts.
What do they do? What do they actually
do? They build software for the government and then now for the industrial and commercial sector.
So
but it's essentially a data company.
So I'm not ripping on software, but we're reaching the point to where algos are programming and algos themselves. So
that's
but they're not building specialized software the way Palantir is.
Right? Okay,
you can look at a company like Tableau, which is what makes Salesforce a really attractive company in my opinion, right? And the fact that Salesforce also is the customer relations manager software too. So they have the data piece and they have the customer piece. So you could look at Palantir almost like a more specialized version of Tableau, whereas Tableau is just like this basic setup where you're able to connect your data pipelines, and then instead of having to manually do things in Excel, it has all of these templates ready to go, so people that are less technical are able to be more useful, right?
Yeah.
So that's essentially all it does. It's not much special for Palantir. Sorry?
I was going to say, part of their secret sauce is the data correlation piece, and it's not exactly algos writing algos, but there is a bit of a fuzzy logic where they're looking for correlations that typical code or that you wouldn't expect to see.
Yeah, I think a great way to relate Palantir is it's a company just like when Google realized that the search engine was important and they made something that was more specialized and worked better, right? And then they got a huge head start on that, right? So this is just another one of those potentially. Or it's a fucking meme and it was overvalued when it joined the market and it's overvalued now, especially for what it does. But I don't think that's the case.
Thiel's behind us, right? Thiel? This is
Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, I think, was a funder, but it's all of the PayPal people. So it's like Alex Karp.
Oh, that's right. You said that before, the PayPal
is
mafia.
The CEO. Right. It's the PayPal mafia, yeah. So I'm pretty sure Peter Thiel was a major investor in it.
Somebody just said something.
Standalone program. Yeah, Apollo is like a standalone deployment program that they could put on any server, so it doesn't have to be connected to the internet. So it's just more secure.
Okay, so this is inside the perimeter deployment that you could secure and not have to worry about pushing anything outside the DMZ. Am I too tech for you?
Yeah, so they have a product that it's Gotham, and then their other one, I have to look it up. But essentially, what Apollo is it's their latest software deck, right? That is constantly being updated all the time. Yeah, Peter Thiel was considered a founder as well of Palantir. Okay. But Apollo is just like their latest software deck on a local drive that they can go run anywhere. So that way it's just more secure. Whereas their typical installment is connected so it could be updated whenever it's needed to be, right?
Yeah, see, I get it. I see all that shit up there. I get pretty excited, man. I mean, this got a lot of potential to move up. Just layers at $30.
$30? What's 30?
Oh, I'm looking at the order book for Palantir, right? All our resistance up top from 30 over to 40.
These are people trying to sell, right?
Yeah. So we got 400,000 shares down the line, right? So we started 280,000 shares at the 3110 price point. We'll move up the ladder and it's all 300,000 share blocks. And it's weird the way it's moving. It's almost looking like it's being algoed to keep the price there. Okay. So
yeah, that is insane volume lined up there. What the?
I've never seen the order book stack this aggressively. I mean, outside, for the meme shit, right?
Yeah,
AMC will do this
for a penny stock. Yeah.
The problem is this has become a meme stock because of retail traders being interested in it. Doesn't matter if it's a real company that makes real value. and is going to make real money in the future. It matters on what algos are doing right now and how it's being set up.
Somehow I
So-
feel that should be illegal.
So let's talk that through for a second, right?
Sorry, I wasn't trying to
No,
laugh.
But I'm serious. Like, okay, I understand retail apes getting into the marketplace. It makes sense at the point in time when they did. It makes sense, right? It was time. I get it. What I don't like, and whatever, it's just an opinion, and I'm sure you guys maybe agree to some degree, is like, if these people are coming into the market with the expectations that, hey, it's a free and open market, because we have something called the FOMC committee that meets about the free and open markets committee every goddamn time. I should be able to do some reasonable research and place my money in a stock that I believe will do well.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. All fine. And then you start seeing shit like this and you're like, okay, but imagine being the bag holder. Let's say you're at $40, right? Let's say your retail stuck up there at $40. Imagine being the bag holder. Imagine like not having access to the order book and seeing, hey, there are people lined up from $31 all the way to $39 before that price even touches those shares that you have for sale. Like how would that make them feel? One, they'd be defeated. Number two, see, I look at this in the opposite direction. I get excited because I'm like, okay, I see this shit and I'm like, okay, they're either going to bankrupt this company or price has nowhere to move but up. Like once you start breaking, look at this 18 level. Why is there such sell resistance here? The first big sell resistance line, why is it 18, right? So that tells me, okay, somebody went short around that level and they need it under that price and they can keep beating it. And eventually they'll let it run.
I know
It's
why.
funny you said that because
I know
when it
why.
broke under 18, that's when I understood there was a problem and I stopped being so
Hey,
aggressive on Palantir.
I know exactly why
That
it's
was
18.
back in November, December. Why is it 18?
When you
Because
look
it was
at
one of your
your
lines.
No, when you look at your outsized moved based off of volatility, that's probably where it's going to peak, not including having to delta hedge when they close. Because there's so many people interested in it, because there's so many people paying attention to it, I could see that being, let's say it takes them 48 hours to close out all the shorts. All right. I could see it running all the way up to 18 and then boom, right back down.
Look what 18 is, right?
Yep.
Chop zone. Boom. Right? So what do? Right? If you want to go short, what do? You fucking obfuscate. You start loading up your boat on your shorts. If you're going short for the next leg down, because we have a leg here, it's clear every time. Right? 1. Okay? We could even call that maybe 2. Right? 1, 2. But then you got this area here of fuckery about. And this is where they'll start, spreading the bid and the ask, start doing their cross orders, going short, and then they'll drop the price, man. And everybody that's caught up here, they're like, oh, this is the dip. We're bullish. All these guys that are long, they get cleaned out. And then they sell, same thing, right? You get into a consolidation area, whatever. They hide their shit, or they could be buying shares. They could be covering their shorts, whatever the hell they want to do. Pretty interesting.
Earlier when I said don't confuse a markdown phase as it having to be accumulation for a markup, don't presume, and you just pointed out 2 examples of what I was trying to say using bigger terms. Don't presume that because it's going sideways that it is in fact an accumulation stage.
Look, if I was the bad guys, I would want to break everybody's spirit. If I wanted the cheapest pricing on Palantir, I would literally just want to destroy everybody's spirit that's in this particular stock.
What was the IPO?
When or what?
Was it a SPAC? Well, what was the price of it when it came out?
It was like $9.50.
It was right where we're at.
Okay, so we're sitting at, ooh, that's not good.
So you see, I'm waiting now, right? Because this here,
and you're saying from fundamentals, it's not a POS company,
right? And from a technical side, okay, so there's no reason why wouldn't people be buying here? If we had these guys buying, right? Why are they not buying again here? If you believe in it,
not over. The move down is not over.
That's what I'm getting at. If you believe in it, right? So what they're trying to do is they're trying to catch retail to break the spirit, or whoever else wants exposure to the stock. Okay, because if nothing else, I mean, Jesus, like I mean, maybe
Look at the volume.
That's what I'm looking at.
In October and in March.
Which October? How far back? The first October?
Yeah, the opening day. Opening
Okay.
week.
Yep.
Look at the volume in October and in March. All right. We need to be somewhere around that point at the bottom, whatever the bottom is going to be, 19.9, We need to see volume moving up. No, I mean currently or in the future. We need to see volume match that.
Right. I mean, the volume is coming in, but unfortunately it's to the downside right now, right? Unfortunately. So patience, right? I mean, I still want to be long this thing, but I'm going to wait.
So, like I said, the candle is dipped below what I was watching today. Now we got earnings coming up.
Right.
So that's off the top. That's going to be a 3-day period where I don't want to touch it.
Oh, that's right. You did cover. You have a 3-day cool down period after earnings. You don't fuck with shit.
Well, the reason why is like I would say 75% of the time, if big money is going to buy the dip, you're going to see it in the pool within that 36-hour period, or excuse me, a 72-hour period. You're going to see if big money wanted to make a move, you're going to see it. Almost every single example of it I've ever seen or done or messed with, that's what they do. They do it within that first 3-day period. But here, that the bottom from earnings to earnings, we have a sideways pattern, and they splashed it up.
I splashed it down now.
Yeah, and now it's being splashed down. But see, I don't know if that's actually the move down because they were fake. It was a fake move up.
So, right, let's point that out. Right? 1, 2, are we going? Right? Or are we going to keep bouncing here and, then do another reversal and then maybe go?
Yo, IWM new low.
Nice. Come on, 180. Come on, 180. I'm not in 180
puts.
I'm not in 180 puts, by the way. I am not in 180.
Well, you're at 180 right now, so take your money and run.
So, real quick though, just looking at what you had up earlier on the chart, if it wasn't going to be for earnings, I'd have been like, I'd go short. Because it broke the ice, and we now have the next day completely below that level. A full, nice, lovely candle below that level. So I would see that as a going short, but earnings. That's why as soon as you said earnings, I was like, oh, yeah, never mind. Earnings is a gamble. It really is. I understand that we're all gambling in the market, but playing earnings is literally gambling. So,
well, how many times have you seen shit earning reports and the price rocket up and vice versa?
Correct.
Like, it's like, okay, it doesn't make sense. So that's what we're getting at as far as, hey, capture your move and get out, right? Whether you're swinging or whatever, don't mess around these areas because
share of PLTR.
What is it?
How many shares total?
Okay, you're looking at the float. One second.
Yeah, how much in the float?
Their entire float. It's 1.64 billion shares.
Yeah,
they have
no.
What is meow meow? What does meow meow mean?
No. Okay. If it was like 300 million, something like that, I would be a little bit more interested in it. But okay, reverse split. That's what I'm getting at. All right. I'm looking down the path. I'm looking ahead, and I can't tell you how many times. Well, I probably can't. At least 4 times this year, I had a brilliant strategy that was destroyed by a reverse split. So we're now creeping into that territory where I'm going to be hesitant to take a long position because of reverse splits.
Do you think they would consider a reversal at this low of a price point? Wouldn't they wait? Because
no, I meant like once. No, it's got to be 5 and
okay, thanks. Cool. Just making sure.
And that's ultimately up to, I don't remember who it is, FINRA, the SEC, or who. Actually, I think it's up to the exchange itself.
It's up to Nancy Pelosi. Don't kid yourself.
So it's up to the exchange itself. Do you want to honor a stock under $5? And if they can show good earnings and products and all this crap, then they will let them. You can bleed. Look at Zomedica.
Oh my God!
That thing got
to
down
the
to like
moon,
30-something cents.
to the moon,
And
guys.
they didn't delist it. So, but that's what I'm getting at is I don't like earnings. I don't like the volume yet. The volume is increasing though. That is interesting. And yeah,
I remember
when you start getting like 2 billion shares, dude, it who do you think you are? AT&T? I mean, yeah,
Okay, so are you dropping clues that you think that they maybe have too many shares out there for
No,
the
so
size company?
the issue that you're kind of talking about on a tangent, which is the reason why they have so many shares. It's because they have a share dilution problem. They want to attract top talent. They want to retain top talent. They have to pay those people, and they pay that with stock. And then, especially if the stock's going down, they have to award bigger packages, right? So that was already a problem that they had, which was driving pressure for their stock price to go lower. But then
that's
with their stock
say
price going down, it's putting way more pressure on them, right?
Yeah.
So, is anybody talking to this?
Think about it. If you're working
CFO?
there and you could easily go to an Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, whatever, right? Google, and then suddenly your stock bonus has been cut in half, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's the gambling they're taking by being a new company that's overvalued, joining the stock market, and then paying their employees in restricted stock units, right?
Well, and don't forget, just because you list on the exchange doesn't mean it's all friendlies, right? I mean, these guys have enemies. They have domestic enemies, talking about, competing businesses or competing whatever. I understand you're saying, they've got a unique business model and all that stuff, but don't think for one second that incumbent contractors are just going to fucking roll over and die because Palantir's rolling up with some new shit, right?
But
I believe in it.
The issue is, I would totally agree. Like, how is a company like Palantir going to take on a company like Google or Microsoft that already has all these government contracts and has bigger teams, more resources, more money, right? But the reality is they've built better tools, more sophisticated tools, and they've outcompeted these major companies because these major companies can't move as quickly as them or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
However they're doing.
100%.
So
100%. No disagreement there.
yeah. So there is this potential that they have better tools and that they have a head start on these types of tools, right? And that would be the equivalent of, that's why I think the Google search analogy is decent, because there were other people working on that same thing, but Google pulled ahead, and then they had such a major head start that it kept other people from even being able to start to trying to compete with them, right? And even companies like Microsoft, who tried to build Bing, couldn't compete in search, right? So a head start and that advantage matters a lot.
Who uses Bing? The only thing I was trying to point out is, like, if I was a bad guy or a couple bad guys and we needed to band together because Palantir was such a threat, we could pull quite a bit of capital together and deploy it to force this move to happen.
Isn't that illegal? Isn't
Totally.
that against the law?
Nothing's illegal.